Hi, Darren Mangum here, securities lawyer, Mangum & Associates. Thanks for tuning into our YouTube channel. Wanted to hop on today and talk a little bit about the FTX issue in the news regarding the SEC's investigation of FTX Exchange, a cryptocurrency trading platform. And wanted to talk about some of the issues from a securities law standpoint. Why is the SEC investigating FTX? Well, primarily because they've, the investigation was announced earlier this week. Just yesterday, they decided to declare bankruptcy. Apparently, there's like an $8 million, or $8 billion, hole that they need to fill because of redemptions and people withdrawing funds. I think the main core issue is that the SEC views all cryptocurrencies as, with the exception of Bitcoin, with the exception of Ethereum, but with any other cryptocurrencies, and vast majority of which are traded on these platforms. And so the SEC has made it very clear that they consider them securities. And it's surprising to us how many of our clients we talk to, because we talk about this a lot. We get on YouTube, we talk about how cryptocurrencies, any kind of tokenized asset, any kind of token offering is considered a security, and that's okay. It just means you've got to comply with the securities laws and disclosure and all of that with investors, whoever's subscribing for your token. So it really comes to no surprise to us that the SEC is investigating FTX as an exchange, and certainly looking at other exchanges like Binance, like Coinbase. All these are exchanges, and so the SEC chairman has recently said that the runway for these companies is very short, and they're slow. They really, for whatever reason, have not tried to comply with the securities laws as registering as an exchange. Now, you can't blame them because it's a very long and expensive process to register as an exchange. Even if you were just trying to register as an alternative trading system or ATS, it's still a very long drawn out process. And you would hope that the SEC would, or even Congress would, step in and try to, create some kind of legislation around the securities laws to enable some of these exchanges to come into compliance and without a whole lot of headache. But the other issue is that this is a fast-moving world, cryptocurrency. We've been very active in the crypto space for a while now. We've been practicing over 23 years, and we've done lots and lots of tokenized assets, tokenized offerings with respect to in connection with securities offerings. And I don't see why the existing regulatory scheme isn't sufficient to allow some of these exchanges to come into full compliance. So anyway, this obviously is going to have a ripple effect on the broader crypto market. We of course, as lawyers, we're still very optimistic in the space. We like the space. We still accept Bitcoin as in exchange for fees. Although lately we've been kind of getting beat up on that in the market as the market's so down. But I think for the long run, we're very, very optimistic about it. So I think what we're seeing right now in this space is where the technology, or the regulatory regulators are catching up to the technology, and regulators are oftentimes slow to respond and very slow, the last person on the scene, but eventually they do show up, and eventually you definitely need to come into compliance. And we've seen that time and time again. Any kind of SEC case regarding cryptocurrency, it's an easy bet as to who's going to win that fight. So anyway, we're certainly we'll definitely continue to follow this FTX story. I think a lot of the issues related to why did FTX blow up are related to some of its dealings with, being an offshore entity based in the Bahamas, not a lot of transparency. There's some affiliations apparently. Again, this is all from the Wall Street Journal, and we'll post a link to this article in our show in the comments, but. A lot of it apparently is related to some of the positions that some of its affiliated entities. FTX had some private funds that were doing some speculative investing and using some of the assets for the exchange, which seems like a no-brainer, no-no. But when it's sort of this offshore murky world that lots of things can happen, right? But once those trading positions became problematic, well, that's going to obviously spill over into the assets of the exchange, and that's FTX all of a sudden found itself in a huge liquidity problem. That I think I read that it's like a $6 to $8 billion with a B. Obligation that it needs liquidity for, and nobody's going to probably step up and save them. So, and of course they just filed bankruptcy too. So, anyway, interesting story. We'll definitely keep following it. But if we can help you and your token project, if you're issuing tokens or looking to set up an exchange, a fully compliant exchange, not like some of these others, we'd be certainly glad to help. Anyway, thanks for watching, and thanks for watching us on YouTube, and we'll catch you on the next video.